Hi. How you doing? You're welcome, everyone. So we're gonna take a few minutes and see if more people would join us. If you're joining my midnight session, thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So what are we gonna be talking about today? We're going to be looking at the scholarship guaranteed discussions, and on Fridays, the goal is to talk about scholarship guaranteed opportunities. If you're joining me right now, make sure you're dropping a comment, make sure you're telling me your name, where you're joining from, and if you're getting value from the session. So I'm going to try to stream on the other device. I will try and stream on our Facebook group, the African Global Network for Reduced Inequalities and Social Stigma. Heavenly Father, we ask, oh Lord, that you would give us the right word for this time. We pray that for as many who will join this session, we pray that they would find value, they will get value, and they will be inspired to share. And more than listening, the zeal, the tenacity, and the faith to be able to apply what would be learnt, God Almighty will release even unto each and everybody who will join this session by God's grace. Amen. Yes. So the title of today's session is, don't worry, hold on, I'm going to type it, then I will share that with you. Scholarship guaranteed live webinar. Today we're gonna be talking about I don't want today's topic or today's session to be too abstract. So I'm gonna be talking about 10 things that coming abroad. No, let's talk about the 10 myths and 10 realities of studying abroad. Okay, today we're gonna be talking about the 10 different myths and the 10 different realities of studying abroad. Okay, 10 myths and realities of studying abroad. 10 myths and realities of studying abroad. So a lot of times, okay, people do not tell us the truth or the realities and myth of studying abroad, right? So I feel that it is very important that I share this in today's conversation and try to help you understand what the truth are and what the myths are. So today I'm going to help you understand what the truth are and what the myths are. So if you're watching and you're just joining, thank you so much for creating time to watch this video, and thank you for joining my live session, and thank you for joining my channel. If you're just joining, thank you so much. Tell me your name, where you're watching from. I will try as much as possible not to make this overly, too complicated. I'll make this as simple as possible, and as much as I would try to make this as simple as possible, I'll try and make this as relatable as possible, right? Relatable as possible, and as specific as possible. I'm trying to remove some distractions that would interrupt this live video. Okay. trying to remove some distractions so we can have a seamless session. Oh, don't do this. So you know what? I'm going to... Okay, so we're good. We're good. I'm trying to stream from 2 places, so... Okay, so are we ready? Awesome, 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 awesome. Let's see. Oh no, I'm gonna have to remove something so that that thing will not distract or disturb our session today. I'm gonna have to remove this item. Something is trying to obstruct our session today. Just like I said, we're gonna be having a midnight session, and if you're joining, don't join alone. Make sure you're inviting someone. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me your name. Okay, let's see. Let me try and replace the position of this very... Okay, good. I think we're good. We're good, and we're ready to shoot. If you're watching, thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy that at least somebody has joined. Thank you so much. See, hope you're good. So today I'm going to be talking about the 10 things that people... Okay, now I'm not going to put it that way. I'll share 10 myths and 10 realities of studying abroad. So I'm going to be sharing 10 myths and 10 realities of studying abroad. 10 myths, 10 realities of studying abroad. I pray that God would help you understand whatever it is I'm going to be sharing live today, and I hope that you find this very valuable. I also hope that this inspires you to not just give up, but to believe and to have faith in your dream, and to believe that every good thing would come. I trust God to help you understand that this is not supposed to scare you or to make you feel too excited or to blow, trumpet, but to enlighten you. I pray that you find this really valuable for what it is and not for something else. So I said I'm going to talk about 10 myths and 10 realities of studying abroad. When I came into the US on the 7th of December 2020, I had expectations. Now, these expectations, I would not say were cut short. No, they were not. But I think I had too much expectation, and when things started happening, I started getting discouraged, and I was like, God, what am I even doing here? It's not like I was suffering in Nigeria before I came into the States. And it's not like I came in here and I started suffering, but things didn't happen so fast like I really anticipated they were. I really anticipated, or I really expected. So now let me start from the myth, then we'll talk about the realities. That they are kind of connected. So number one is, I expected that my life was going to change for the best, very best, suddenly. My life was not bad though. It wasn't bad, it was good, but I wasn't expecting better. I was expecting pum to the best, pum excellent. I had so much expectation, and the reality here also tells me that everything would happen in its time. So there's a process, there's a system. Nothing happens suddenly. That's one thing I realized on getting here. So let me make this more practical and real. Okay, so when I got here, the thing about the myth that I had in mind, that I thought was going to be my reality is, yes, I'm not in the States. I'm not going to struggle for certain things. Everything will come to me. Yes, the abundance that I've been talking about. But I realized that it wasn't going to happen the way I actually pictured it. So a very practical example is on getting here, I didn't know that the money, right? The money that was written on paper isn't so big. Hey, let me not shake tables, oh. Or should I continue? If you want me to keep shaking these tables, please let me know. All right. If you want me to keep shaking these tables, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Okay? Please let me know if you want me to still talk about this point. So, the thing is, I expected that things were going to happen so fast. I expected that the money was good money. Like when they say they are paying you 1,000 something dollars, in your mind you're like, ah, I have arrived. That's like ₦1,000,000 in a month. The reality is that money is nothing. That money is nothing. It's nothing because in reality, when you do the calculation and look at how much they claim they want to pay you, or how much is on paper, and the reality around you, you realize that you might have to borrow money from people at home if you want to live, some kind of life. So that's the reality number one. Reality number two, or the myth number two, is I thought that all the houses in America would be pom pom pom, like as in pegs, bang, peng, peng, peng houses. I was expecting houses to be all so good, all so beautiful. Let me shock you. The reality is not all the houses are beautiful. I'm not saying that. Did I say that? If I said that, yes, I did. Not all the houses are beautiful. You see some houses, you'll be like, if I am in this house and I'm doing my live video, people would think I'm suffering. Oh my God. That was the reality, right? My thought, the myth, the expectation is the houses will be all beautiful. Not all the houses are beautiful. Say that in the comment section in your own voice. Tell me what I just said. Not all the houses are what? Not all the houses are beautiful. Not all the houses are beautiful. Some houses that are so beautiful, you will pay through your nose. Most of the houses are like in between, especially for you who is gonna be coming in as a student. It's not like you have all the money to. No, so let me make this more specific. When I mean that not all the houses are beautiful, based on your budget or the pocket or what they will pay you, you can't aim for some apartments, right? You can't aim for some apartments. I think there's a video I recorded about the apartment thing, and that is also on this YouTube channel. That's also on the YouTube channel. You can find that video, and you can also check the thread of the group, of our group. If you're on the group, the Facebook group, you should find it there you find it in our section. There's a place where we put contents, and then if you're on my page, you also find it there. Or I would, if you can't find it right now, you find it later. So the reality is not all the houses are beautiful. Just like I thought the houses were going to be all fine. No, myth number two, boom. Not all the houses are beautiful. And the reason is because you cannot aim for some apartments based on your pocket. If you look at your pocket, you ask yourself, can I actually afford this apartment? You can't, except you want to steal. And that's the reality. So let me give you an example. So when I was hunting for apartments, I had a budget. I had a budget of between $400 to $500. In your mind, you wonder and say, if I calculate $400 to $500, that's a lot of money. Even back home in Nigeria, please, somebody should do the calculation. $400 or between $400 to $600, you will find apartments within that range. If you're going for apartment of there are no $300 apartment you will even see. The $400 one safe, they are not so spectacular. The $500 they are not so fine, but you can manage it. The 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, those are houses. Excuse me, if they are paying you 1,000 something and you're going for an apartment of 1,000. Like, what are you thinking? Maybe you will the only thing you will leave from America is nothing. Oh, that's about 300K. Somebody just did the estimate, right? So the reality is the apartments here are expensive. If you're bringing your the current the mentality, no. If you're trying to calculate the amount in your local currency, or in the currency of where you're coming from, whether Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, or anywhere from Africa, the money is a lot of money if you calculate it. Because in Nigeria, if you are in an apartment of 300K, you will live large. You will live large. You will live large. But here, a 300K apartment, you are living like a pauper. Like, you are not even there. You're just living, it's just like living in a face me and slap you. Yeah, man. Even though they will say it's an apartment, but every apartment has level. Every apartment has level. In fact, houses here in Tuscaloosa are even fairly cheap. If you go to some major cities or major cities or states like Georgia, New York, you will not see. They will start from say 600 and above. So here, if you see an apartment of 600, 650, 700, they'll still be good, decent, but not that, not a classy place, but a decent place. So as an international student, the second struggle is trying to find an apartment that will fit into the budget or into the stipend that you would get. So if you're thinking that because they're paying you $1,500, you want to start living large, or maybe they're paying you $2,000 and you want to start living large, sorry, think about the expenses that you have to deal with every month. Myth number three is, I came in with the mindset that the money was going to be able to take care of the bills here and I will have enough to save. But I realized that the money is not a lot. And the reason why I got frustrated again is because of the bills. Hey, my God, bills every month. You will pay bills, oh. Please, can you hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me, somebody should say, I can hear you. If you can hear me, somebody should say, I can hear you. The bills are so much. Like, oh my God, I don't know how to say this. I want bills here. Somebody should interpret what I just said in Yoruba. The bills can kill. The bills, hell, Osenobua. Those bills, Chinekemo. Aye. They can kill somebody. Those bills, all the qua crazy, all the qua annoying, walai. That's the word. Those bills, shege that is canio, walai. Those bills are really, they're really killing. So the myth number 3 was, or is, I thought that the bills were not going to be so expensive. And I thought I would, after removing my rent money, I would still have good money. So if, for instance, my income monthly is 1,500 and my rent is, say, okay, I eventually got an apartment, and where I am right now, I pay $595 per month. That's per month, though. So that's like almost 1/3. What am I saying, Seth? More than 1/3 of my income is already going into rent monthly. You can imagine how can I send money to village people? How can I send money to great grandma? The money itself gone. It's not enough. So that's why you must learn how to profit in millions. I always emphasize the need to have a side hustle, something that you're doing online that you can monetize even if you come into the abroad. Don't come and say I did not tell you. No, I'm telling you now. That hustle, that baking skill, that sewing skill, that hair making skill, don't drop them at the airport. Put them in your traveling bag. In fact, don't put them in that bag you put inside the plane. That carry-on bag, put it inside so that you're carrying it everywhere. Let that mentality of making money come with you so that you don't feel that, yes, I have come to the abroad. I can now calm down. All my problems, they are over. Sorry, the bills here will, if you don't have a business sense, the bills here will remind you of the need to be enterprising. And that's why I always tell scholars that from home, Think of something you can do aside from whatever plan you have about studying abroad. Monetize your skill. Digitize it more than monetize. Digitization is even more important than monetization. If you digitize your content, value, and what you share, it will bring money. So digitization is something you need to think about even before you leave the shores of Africa. And that is the essence of studying abroad, to make impact. You don't want to come here and start giving family people excuses and saying, the money is not plenty. Who told you? We dare listen. Nobody will listen to that one. No. You come here, the expectation. It has gone to ground 100. The expectation is so high, and if you're not careful, you're gonna be offending people. You'll be so annoyed, so depressed. The first few weeks, thank God for my friend who gave me a room in our house. Man, I was frustrated. Aye su mi, tamalaye sunyo. I felt really bad because I could not believe what I was hearing. And all of this information that I'm sharing, I'm putting them in my video course on my website. I'm even putting them in my book, in the book that I'm going to be releasing at the end of March. So back to the gist. I realized that the bills, water, you pay for water. Please wait, let me shock you. Before you start paying for water, you will create an account with the water company, with the power company, with the internet company. Which one again? You will create an account for everything. Water company, internet company, power company. You will not create for dustbin. At least the apartment will take care of trash. For some good apartment, they will take care of the trash. But you create an apartment with, you create an account with power company, that's electricity company. You pay, you open an account with internet company, and the water is water company. But the reality is, when you're creating these accounts, remember, you will pay deposit. You pay a deposit, or deposit. You deposit something. Deposit is for people like us who are just coming to Obodo Oyibo, coming to the US or Canada or any country, any of those countries where you want to go study. If you're coming into that country, you don't have record with them. You don't have any record to show that you are financially responsible, they can trust you, you can pay up your bills. You don't have any record. So what tells them, or what helps you to create a record, is a deposit. Did I tell you, or maybe I didn't tell you? Let me also mention to you that if you're unlucky, no, not unlucky, if you're getting a new apartment, you will pay a deposit, right? So let's say you want to get an apartment for $400 or $500. Some apartments will charge you the same amount for security deposit, or for deposit. Yeah, that deposit is an amount, just like that caution fee. Caution fee now. So you pay caution fee for every new account you want to set up here. House, apartment, you will have a deposit. You pay them deposit. If you're lucky to get somebody who is willing to sublease, you will not have to pay for that. So you will not have to pay for you will not have to pay deposit for an apartment. But the other ones, you will pay. Water, you pay a deposit with water company. So imagine that water company says deposit is $80. You also pay an account opening fee, maybe $25. That's already $105, right? They might not charge you that first month. They might charge it on your first bill, which would be coming around the time you'll be getting maybe your second pay, depending on when you're creating that account. You will pay electricity deposit or power deposit. That deposit is to show that at least you want to create an account with them. Then you start paying your bill again every month. Those deposits. So if you calculated what I just said, rent is say $500. Let's say deposit for rent is another $500. That's already $1,000 gone if you are earning 1,500. So you see, how much do you have left? If you now have to pay deposit for water, let's say water is $100. Let's say power is maybe $135. That's $230 something. Out of the $500 that is left, how much do you have left? Less than $300 left though. Then you now pay, maybe you now want an international number. You want a number. So you for the, yeah, those companies, you don't pay them deposits. You just they just get you on board immediately. You pay to get a line. That's about maybe 20 something dollars. You pay to get a line. You will pay for the line that you are using every month, or you pay for the to be online, to be able to use that line. You pay the phone bill. That's what they call phone bill. Now another thing you will pay for would be internet. You will pay monthly for internet to be able to use Wi-Fi. This one that I'm doing video, that you are seeing the video now, I paid for it. I paid for it, right? And I must make my money back. I did not come here to joke. By the grace of God, I did not come here to come and read book alone. I have come to make money. So that's it. So you need to take note of the fact that you also have to pay for internet service, and you have to create an account with an internet provider. It could be Xfinity, just like the one I'm using. It could be Verizon, whatever. No, sorry, Xfinity. It can be AT&T, depending on the company. But the one I'm using right now is Xfinity, and I think that's good. It's a good brand. Now again, not every connection, not every service provider works for every apartment. So they would always ask you, where is your apartment? Where did you rent an apartment at? These are the information, or that is the basic information they would use to determine which of the, whether you can go for their plan or you have to transfer to another internet provider. Now we have talked about the myth concerning bills. I thought that after collecting rents, after collecting an apartment, that I will not pay deposit for power, internet, electricity, power, internet, and water. I did not expect that I will pay bills for power, PIW, power, internet, and water. I paid all those deposits. And interestingly, you also pay monthly bills. So after the deposits have been paid, it's also very important that you pay this deposit, because you want to build credit score or credit history, as it were, so that if, for instance, later you want to buy a car, buy a house, you have something to show that, oh, you are growing or building your credit within the system. And I think that's very important. So what else? How many myths have we talked about? Can somebody share that quickly? I've talked about a few myths. Let's talk about, we have few minutes to go. We have about 10 more minutes to wrap up the session, and then I take questions. So let's talk about other things that happened. Another thing that I didn't think that I would have to I didn't think that it was going to take so much time, or it would require so much to get a social security number. So in my mind, I've heard about social security number, but I thought that, well, I come here, apply. In fact, I thought that the card would be waiting for me. I didn't know that it would take time. And I didn't expect that everything that I was going to ever want to achieve in the country was going to be wrapped around getting a social security number. Social security number, or SSN for short, became like your ticket for getting anything done in the country. You want to rent a house, they will ask you, do you have a social security number? If you say, sorry, I don't have it, they say, sorry, you're going to pay the entire deposit. Or because you don't have a credit score, you don't have a credit history, you pay plenty money. The social security number helps you to cut down on some costs, or maybe there are places where you'll be required to pay money. You might get a waiver for having a social security number. Not just that you have the social security number, but your credit score shows that you are not in debt, you're not bankrupt, you're doing well, your credit score is good. They will give you certain opportunities. So let me list those opportunities. You can easily buy a car if you have a good credit score. You can easily buy a house, I already talked about. But what you really need as you're coming in is, after settling down for a couple of months, just like I'm doing, getting a car becomes very important. It's not everywhere you can walk to. So let me share another thing. I already talked about the social security number thing. I'm making this very quick. I also, how many myths have I covered? So the first one I talked about is me thinking that the money would be plenty money, the rent thing shocking me, the deposit palaver shocking me, the bills shocking me. For Now I'm talking the social security number giving me headache. Like I did not expect that everything was going to be about social security number. 6. I was gonna share the 6th myth. So myth number 6, or that became reality number 6, is that I didn't know that people can be missing. You can be lost in America. In fact, I went missing. Like I really went missing. If you know you can hear me, please let me know. I went missing. What did I say? I went missing. I got lost. Ah, ọmọ ìyá jọ̀tá mi, mo sọnù dànù. I went missing, no, like I really went missing. So how did I go missing? I already got the apartment that was subleased to me by somebody who was moving out. It's a 6-month lease. I brought my stuffs in. Luckily, my good friends gave me rides at different time. Me, I was doing fine, girl. They were giving me ride to the apartment. So after they helped me move my stuff, I went for class one of the days from my friend's place. After my class, I wanted to come to the apartment to maybe go from the apartment to the agent's office. I didn't go to the apartment, so I said, there's no point. Maybe I know my way now. As a Niger girl that knows that if you go like this, that's where you are going. In my small mind, I didn't realize that the roads, you can't just assume that because you saw the way the roads were connecting that they are so close. Or maybe there's a building you are seeing from afar and you say, shebi le kinini yen. Sorry, it can be looking so close, but it might be so far away. And one bad thing is, if you have no address, people would not be able to help you. Interestingly, I didn't even know the address of where I was going, like, the way people would relate with or relate to. So I kept walking. In my mind, I typed the name of the place on the Google map. Directions, I clicked on directions. I still got missing. As a miss them, I went missing. Oh my, yeah, like I felt so bad. I said, God, Jamila America, mo tún lọ sọnù. I went missing. Like I felt really bad. I felt really emotional. I almost cried, but I did not cry. But I felt like, see, tears were inside my eyes. They were not just dropping like this. When I didn't know what to do, I had to keep walking. No, I had to keep walking. I kept walking. When I see that I'm going towards dead ends, I just turn back, go back to the main road. At a point, I stopped using the map. When I stopped using map, I still kept walking. At the end of the day, God, I realized that I was out of, like, I'd gone out of the way. How do I explain this? What English expression am I gonna be using at this point? Like, mo sọnù dànù. So I'm bossy boro. I'd gone out of the like, I can't even express this in English. I got into a different part of the city completely. Like somewhere that, do you know I kept walking for about 2 hours or more? But eventually, as God would have it, the place I found myself was where I was planning to go to that week to sort my internet connection. Long story short, even though I got missing, I still achieved something that day. One, I got my modem. Modem was about $175. Everything you buy, you pay tax. So I did not know that one. That's the next myth. I did not know that if you see an item on the store and they say this is the price, that's not the price you will use to buy it when you're going out, though. That's just the display price. That's like them saying, let's say something is $9.99, or $2.99 or $10.99 or whatever. No, let's say something is $9.99. That's approximately $10, right? But you will not pay $10 and carry it and go. You might even end up paying like $2 extra on top of that thing. So let me give you an example. When I went to fix my iPhone 2-3 days ago, how much did I take there? No, should I use that as an example? No, after fixing my iPhone, I got a case for the iPhone. It's not a big iPhone. Don't come and be thinking that I have arrived. Meanwhile, I brought that iPhone from Africa. So it's still an Africanized iPhone. We're still going to upgrade. But right now, that's the one I'm using for this session. So I came in, I got, no, I got the case for my iPhone. Guess how much they sold phone case? $10. Please calculate $10 for me. That's about 5,000 something, Abby, or 4,000. Can you run phone case of phone about 4,000. Case that we buy for one time, maybe 500 or 700. Bought the case for about 4,000 or so. Now, interestingly, I didn't just pay $10. I paid $10 plus tax. That's the annoying part, because everything you buy, you will pay tax. So maybe, for instance, you want to draw your bill or budget for every month, and then you say, hey, I will now buy this one. They say this one is $10 B. It's not $10 you pay. They say this one is $5 B. It is not $10 that will be calculated eventually. They would add tax. They will add what? Tax. Tax. They will add the tax. So the tax palaver was another reality that I found. I didn't know I would have to pay tax. I started paying. I knew. Now, it's not like I wasn't aware that tax is incorporated in everything you buy. Hey, we're running out of time. But I didn't expect that the display price would not be tax included, right? I expected that the tax thing had been included, then I'll just pay and go. I then saw that the price on the item is different from the price you will really pay. So that's another thing I realized. And then after looking at everything, I see that at the end of the month, how much do I even have? If everything is going to bill, food to go after buying food stuff. Another thing, let me share this one. Another thing I realized is African food is like gold. Yes, I did not know this was going to be my reality. So the myth is, yes, they say they have African shops now. I can still just enter, buy African something. Like here in Tuscaloosa, there is no African store per se. While if you go to Walmart, you might see an international food section, but hey, there's no international shop gaga like maybe in Bodija. You just wear your bomb short knicker. Oh yeah, Okada. Carry me to Bodija market. Tomato rodo, you buy everything, carry bag and go. It's not like that. There's no African shop like you can just go to, like you can just walk into those places. They are not available like that. If you want to buy stuffs at the African shops, you have to prepare and plan ahead. So, for instance, in Tuscaloosa, there is no African shop or a major African shop. However, there are people who sell African food maybe on the underground level. But if you really want to go shopping and say, yes, just like you're going shopping to Walmart or to a major store here, you have to plan going shopping for African shops. Into stores or shops with African foods. So, for instance, Tuscaloosa has no major place. So people from Tuscaloosa travel to Atlanta to get, food, African food, African food that you be eating. Yeah, you be eating anyhow. Whoa, you cannot eat anyhow. Pepper, you will manage your pepper. Pepper that you use, you still be wasting pepper. Onion, you will manage your onion. Tomato, like you can't even just buy tomatoes anyhow. Usually, what do we use? Diced tomatoes. That's what a lot of people use in place of the tomato at home. You buy diced. You had, tatashe. Then you had pepper. As in, there's pepper, there's tomato. It's not like there's no tomato, but again, they are expensive, so you would need to economize. Again, the African shops are not so many, so you have to go to a major city to buy African food. And this your African food that you are buying, you will not come and start eating it anyhow. Do you know that you might spend half of your salary, or you might have to save half of your entire income to be able to buy good quality African food that will last you months, because you cannot just jump from your house any day, anytime and say, hey, oh yeah, African shop, you cannot live like that though. Sorry, you can't. You cannot. You can't just leave your apartment and just go. Sorry, you can't. You cannot. It is cannot, not can. I say you will never be able to do that because those shops are not close by. So usually it's like 3-4 hours drive from where you're living, and that means that you must plan ahead. And planning ahead would mean that if you don't have a car, you have to go with people. But if you have a car, you have to still buy gas into the car before you go, Abby. So I'm still on this level for we that we're just planning to come in. So I don't expect that as you're coming in, even if you come with money from Nigeria, don't go and buy a car immediately. Except maybe you're coming with every member of your family, and then there will be need for you to get a car. But if you're just coming in, you and maybe you alone, or maybe you and your spouse alone, still don't buy a car, except if you have kids, because I know, like me now, I'm expecting my children and my partner soon, and by God's grace, I have to get a car before they come. So you can imagine. But if you're not in that kind of situation, you don't need a car immediately. So you have to always plan your life around people's movements, and that can be frustrating sometimes. But the good thing is there are good people. There are good people, and if they are going shopping, maybe at an African store closest to your location, then you go with them, and that's what a number of people do. So, but if you don't have money, what will you buy? If they say, oh yeah, we are going to African market, that's why you must, you always save something. Always save something. Especially, don't just buy. Don't buy everything you see. If maybe you're just earning, you're just buying, don't just buy everything. How many myths have I talked about? If you're still following, please let me know. Let me know in the comment section. How many myths have I talked about? I really need to know whether this is really making sense, so that we can continue, or we can just put a stop to it. Is this making sense? I need feedbacks. Is this making sense? We're coming to the end. Less than 5 minutes to go. Is this really making sense? Please let me know. Let me know if this is making sense. Thank you. If it's making sense, please let me know. So, as I was saying, another thing that I learned or realized is, aside from the African food issue, is the fact that, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for following. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So another point I would like to make is, okay, now if you have, now let's, before we talk about car, let's talk about something else, then we'll talk about the car issue. I'm trying to remember the next point. So now let's talk about the car, then we'll talk about this last issue. So now when it comes to getting a car in the States, usually there are two ways or several ways. One way is, maybe there's somebody who is leaving school and wants to dispose his or her car. The easiest way is to pay the person and get the car, and the person will transfer his or her insurance to you. Usually people like that are willing to just sell at any price, and then you go. So you can buy your car that way. Okay. Another thing you can do is to go through banks. So to go through banks, it will mean that you're financing. Financing comes with you paying a percentage every month to your bank for giving you plenty money to go and give an agent and buy, to go and give a car dealer and say, oh yeah, car dealer, I like this car, give me the car, I want to go. So what am I saying in essence? The difference between going through a car dealer and maybe anybody who just want to sell a car quickly is that the bank would only finance cars that are recent models, not just old cars. But if you're buying from somebody, it can be any model, and you buy with all the problems that comes with it. Again, it's not like the cars will be so terrible, but again, it is based on your pocket. But if you're going through the bank, you don't need to have all the money back and give them. You can use the car. You'll be paying from your income on a monthly basis. They'll just be deducting some amount monthly for your car. And of course, every car, you must do insurance. So it's not like Africa or Nigeria where you shall buy car and you are gone. You will not buy car and just start using car. You must insure the car, because if anything happens to the car, if the car is insured, you can get the worth of the car. You can be paid the entire worth of that car, and you can even have extra change that would help you buy another car. And then you have to insure the new car. So the good thing about their insurance policy, there's no scam. Everything is real. Like, you will benefit from the system that way, and I can assure you of that. So, but that one is a good news. Yeah. One thing again is you need to learn how to save. So if you've not been as type that saves, start saving before coming. Develop that habit. Start a side hustle. Have something you're doing. Digitize your skill, so that when you come here, you can still maintain that connection with your audience online. That's what I'm doing. I don't really have to go looking for new people. My audience majorly are online, and I'm able to talk to you, share all of this important updates with you. That is because I have moved online, and I want you to do the same. So in tomorrow's session, every Saturday, we'll be talking entrepreneurship. basically. I'll be talking about profiting in millions by God's grace to be here tomorrow again. So I want you to just take note of all these important points. Very, very important. So another thing I would like to share with you is, this place is not like home where you can just stop bike and say, bike, 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 bike. I'm going to Zozo place. Take me. The bike. There are no bikes. There are lifts and Ubers, and they are really expensive. And because they are really expensive, you must really plan your life very well. One major discovery that I realized on getting here after getting missing is that there are key routes where certain buses, go to. So I had to take my time to study the different locations that these buses go to. These buses are called Tuscaloosa Trolley. I did a video on on the YouTube channel, on the same channel where I shared about one of my bus trips. You can check the video somewhere there. You can find the video there. So in that video, what was I saying? I was sharing about, now there's no point talking about what I was sharing in the video, but when I realized that, okay, if I want to go to Walmart, this one goes there. If I want to go to DCH, maybe the clinic, this one goes there. If I want to go to maybe buy makeup, this one goes there. If I want to change my phone, this one goes there. If I want to maybe just buy quick stuff on the roadside, or if I want to go to the school or to the library, this one goes there. Now, after realizing that, it made my life easy because, yeah, you're there. Like, I suffered. I didn't even know my way around. If you ask people, they will say, do you get an address? Everything, you get an address. Like, it became really frustrating and I had to learn the hard way. So let's talk about some very good developments, some good news. I've been sharing bad news, not bad news, but tips that should wake you up. So let's talk about some good news in 5 minutes. So one good thing that happened is when I got here, I was lucky to have a community of African students that are connected to each other. So one good thing is I got a place to stay. My friend gave me a space in an apartment for 2 months. That's something you must also do if you get here. If you have somebody coming from another part of the world who wants to come and study where you are, it might not be convenient, but try and do it because it's just the law of karma. Good things will come to those who do good things. And I cannot thank my friend enough. She's been so amazing. Her husband, her kids, they gave me space in their house. Like, they tolerated my shenanigans. Me, I was always doing everything in their house. They did give that space. And I was using their Wi-Fi, using their, I did not tell you about my experience with the laundromat. I will share that one on another episode. We'll not talk about that today. We'll talk about that later. So they've been so good. Wonderful people are here. Amazing people are here. Now let's talk about Americans. The American people that I've met, they are wonderful people. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat or make it sound so sweet. No, they are very good people. And the reason I'm saying this is, so there is a Tuscaloosa International Friends family. It's a network of natives that try to make lives easy for new international students or international students who are just arriving in their states or county. So in this place, there are people who created like a network. So if you're an international student and you just got in, they have a way of just reaching out to you. They will reach out to you through your own local international student group. How do I explain it? So if you're Nigerian, you got in, you will find other Nigerian people and they will find you. So within that Nigerian group, they will have somebody who will reach out to the international friends family or the Tuscaloosa or the international friend family in your school to tell them that, hey, we have new Nigerians or we have new Zimbabweans, we have new people from Africa, new people from Asia. They will just, they have a way of connecting or sharing that information. And what do they do with that information? They help you with stuff. They get you things that will make your life easy. I did a video where I will show you all the gifts, all the good things they gave me, how they helped me move into my apartment. If you have not seen that video, go and watch the video. You'll find that video somewhere there. So in that video, I was talking about the good things they gave me, all the gifts, how they helped me move. Oh, these people are wonderful. They can be that nice, but just make sure that you're not, don't overdo. Don't come and be Oliver Twist. But the good thing is they gave me bed. They gave me, what did they not give me? In fact, they gave me everything that, practically everything I have in my apartment. I have a comfortable bed, wonderful dresser. I have, what else? Kitchen items. Everything that I use in my apartment, they give me. That's one thing that they that's international friends, the natives here are very good at. They have done so much for me. Like I was complaining that the illumination in my living room isn't so good, or the light in the living room isn't so good. One of them brought me lamp. I was not even at home. She left it at the door. I'm telling you, they are so nice. When I got everything, I've not even I've not even gotten my first income to be able to say I now have an apartment. The Nigerian money that I brought, I have to go and pay for a storage unit. You will pay for everything here, but you will get value. That's one thing that I have come to realize. You can't be lazy in the system, but you will pay for everything, but you will get your money's worth. I tell you. So don't bring laziness. Bring all the Niger African enterprising ginger. Bring it into the system and it will pay you. I'm not saying come here and start leaving your book and start focusing on that. you will focus on your book, but there will be opportunities for you to be able to sell your skills, your talents, and all that enterprising killing that you are coming with. You'll be able to use them here, and I would say have been able to do that successfully. So another thing I like to talk about now, we've talked about the myths. Let's talk about some good realities, right? So I already talked about them helping me to, get used to the system. Again, people are friendly to a point where maybe on Valentine they can come give you chocolate. Like somebody came to my door yesterday. 3 people actually knocked on the door and said, "Hey, it's good. We're giving you Valentine gift, and we don't know if you would like it." They gave me chocolates. Well, my professor who wanted to meet with me on Zoom, no, who wanted to meet with me physically, but we couldn't meet physically, so we had to meet on Zoom. Guess what she offered me? She said she had prepared me cake, like apple cake, and she wanted to give me. My friend who gave birth, who has been here for a while, do you know what? They kept bringing her food, they kept bringing her items, they kept bringing her stuff. I'm just telling you that they are so good people. I pray that you find the good ones just like I did, and my heart goes out to you. If you're planning to come right now, or your trip is in a few weeks, or you haven't even applied, everything will work together for your good. I miss my kids. They are not here with me yet. My husband is not here yet, and I cannot wait for them to be a part of this working system. Again, is one good thing here is that the people here are very responsive. Like, they answer their calls, they fix problems very like you start getting results. So maybe the water in your house is not working well, the AC or the heater is not working well. Call them, they will talk, they will work on it. They are very very responsive people, always ready to to respond, to get your problem solved. The responsiveness, it melts my heart. So is there anything that I haven't talked about that we'll share more on? Leave a comment so that we can touch it in next week's edition. I'm going to be signing out in the next 1 minute. But before I go, I like to know if this video has been useful. If this video has been useful to you and you find this very valuable, I'd like you to do a few things for me. Number one, tell me your name, where you're watching from, and tell me what you have learned in today's video. Number two, tell me if you will share this video or not. Number three, before you go, make sure you share this video, you like it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching live on YouTube. If you're on our Facebook group, make sure you're sharing the link or inviting people to join our Facebook group. If you're watching from my personal page, make sure you're joining, you're liking my page and asking your friends to like the page. Just make this go viral for us, please. Will you do that? If you will do that for me, please say yes. If you won't do that, say no and tell me what I want. Maybe there's something I've done that you didn't like that I have to work on so that I can get better at inspiring and motivating you. Probably psyching you to be able to get things done here for us too. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat box. I would like to answer your questions. If there's anything I didn't touch, please let me know. But most importantly, I'd like to appreciate you for staying here, watching closely, listening to me. I know my long tails. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Awesome. Good stuff. And one thing that I think I like here is everything works well. The library works well, the lights, nobody takes light here, nobody internet, except maybe if the connection isn't so strong. Like in my apartment, I'm still trying to resolve the strength, the connection is not so strong. So sometimes it trips off. But if everything is good on your side, the system works well. The library, you can borrow you'll find all the books you practically need for the semester. So maybe in the first few semesters, you might not need to. Okay. So there's a question, how is class compared to the Nigerian setting? So I'm going to address that quickly. So for instance, the books are available. You can use the library easily. You can, for instance, you can order or request for a book from the library online. If the library here or in your school does not have it, they have a system that allows them to borrow from other libraries, from other universities. And in a short while, the book will be available. So you don't have to buy books, except there are compulsory books that you really want to keep for your research purpose, and you know that because these are library books, they will go get them, you will return them. But of course, that would be later. Now you're just coming here, you have to adjust and really know what your research interest is. So the question here is, how is class compared to the Nigerian setting? I'll say classes here now. So three things. Let me say number one, the professors would make sure they would have emailed you the schedule for the semester. The schedule is like the timetable of what courses would be like. So you would have to take care to make sure that you have checked the schedule long before class starts, so that you know what you would be, so that you know the different days for the classes, the hours, the books or textbooks or readings. They call them readings. So these readings are what you have to source out for yourself. So for instance, let's say Nigeria, no professor sends you any email beforehand and says, oh yeah, this is our schedule for semester. I'm not sure the Nigerian system, as far as I know, no lecturer, no professor will do that. But here they would email you the schedule for the semester. In this schedule, they will include the different books so that you can start sourcing for those books even before classes begin to really get intense. Another thing they would also do for you, another thing about the class system is that it is always very interactive. There is mark for interaction, like you get grades for interacting and contributing. You get grades for participating. You get grades for reading your readings and making sense out of the readings and contributing based on the readings in the class discussions. So that's another thing that I think is very important here. But unlike Africa or maybe Nigeria, where everything is about class test. So it is the day of your test that you really get to deliver. You start delivering from the day the class starts, and you must be in class. You must participate. You must, join conversations in class. Another thing for an average student like me, I don't really understand what you mean for an average student like you. What are you trying to say? How is class compared to the Nigerian setting? I think I've explained that. And I think what I just explained for Nigeria, I think is typical or typical of other African countries to a large extent. So is there any other question? If there is no other question, thank you so much everyone for joining. Make sure you do the few things that I talked about. Did you find this video helpful? Share. Did you like the content? Share. Will you join next week? Don't forget to put the date on your calendar. From next weekend, every Friday, Scholarship Guaranteed Academy will be coming to you live free of charge on our Facebook page, the African Global Network for Reducing Inequalities, on my personal page, free of charge, Bisola Mariam Obiyan, and on our YouTube channel, Bisola Mariam Obiyan. Make sure you join all of these communities because the content on these different platforms are not always the same, but the only common or unifying content is the live webinar on Friday. I'll be here tomorrow again talking about how to monetize your skills. Make sure you catch me live 3 p.m. 3 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Thanks so much, everyone.